You know, I was trying to come up with jokes about like the show that scores more than Edmonton and Calgary, but I don't think we do. Ladies and gentlemen, the Rob Brown Show is on your radio.
What kind of scoring are you talking about? You leave me out of that.
I mean, up for interpretation, I suppose. Hello, South Carolina. Hello, America. Hello, world. Great to be with you. Happy Thursday. It is Thursday right here on the Rob Brown Show, right here on the Fan Upstate. I am Rob Brown. He is the great one, the professor of perfection, the wizard of wave. He is the authority. He is the selling point. He is the great one, Lonzo. What's up, Zo?
I'm a wizard.
Throw a fireball at you.
I'll throw a fireball at you. What are you doing?
Fixing it, but not. Everything's broken this morning.
You know what? I know we haven't been given permission, but that thing just moved again, by the way. If it were to, be taken.
Suddenly disappear?
I don't know about disappear, but be taken down, who's going to notice?
So what we're talking about, for those of you that are not watching on the stream, at facebook.com/thefanupstate, twitter.com/thefanupstate, or by searching The Rob Brown Show on YouTube. For those of you not watching on the stream, there is a big piece of plexiglass between Lonzo and I.
Allegedly, it's plexiglass. So, I mean,
of some sort of clear plastic, glassish looking material.
It could be tempered. It could be something that could shatter. We've been really close a couple times.
It's between Lonzo and I, and it in and of itself is not a problem. That doesn't bother me. That there's glass between us is probably better for Lonzo that there is for phone answering and talking into his microphone without me talking into both microphoning purposes. The problem
that helps. I think we proved last week that doesn't. Yeah, it's not really that much of a filter.
Fair. The problem with it is that it has been here since we came back to the building post the Rona, which has been, I don't know, Lonzo, what, handful of months, 6 months?
I don't know. I never left because I'm essential.
Yeah. Okay. Since I came back to the building.
But they put the glass up for a person who doesn't sit still. That's fine. You got high energy, dude. When you got that kind of energy, I know I'm laid back and I take it easy.
The expression on the show, Lonzo, is I got wiggle.
You got wiggle. Okay. Sometimes the wiggle gets out of control.
It does. I move a lot.
Yes.
I'm excited. I got juice, man. I got energy. By the way, I don't know if you caught this yesterday when we were interviewing Judy Carlson, the head coach of the Liberty, when I was like, so what gives the girls gas? What gives them juice, right? And I meant like energy, electricity.
Yeah, that was a poor choice of words.
She was like, juice, yeah. That's an interesting term. And it's like, I forgot you're an athlete.
Yeah, you can't. An athlete. I'm just like, oh no. Yeah. I don't want to put my hand over my face right now.
I meant, right?
I knew.
Yeah.
And I think she knew, but she had to point out a little bit that it was a poor choice.
We are not juiced.
It was a poor choice.
The Greenville Liberty is not juiced. Anyway, this glass was put in as we are unable to finish a single point on this show ever. The glass was put in, which is not a problem. The problem is the glass is never cleaned, right? Because in order to clean it, you'd have to move it, and it's not locked in, but it's like wedged into a spot.
Oh, it's definitely not locked in.
No, not at all.
As you've watched the stream and seen, it looked like earthquakes.
But basically, it's not cleaned, and it's gross at this point, and it has gone from there's just a clear sheet of glass between Lonzo and I, no big whoop, to like I have to squint to see Lonzo through the debris left, in fairness, by me. I'm the only one on this side of it.
Yeah, you're the only one on that side.
It is all from me.
You know when you go through a problem and you don't get a chance to wash your car, and there's that grime on there that, a good car wash needs to take off. That's what it's like. It's like looking through that kind of window where your car hasn't been washed for a while.
Yeah, it is. It is. So, now that we've talked about it for like 6 minutes, I don't think we can just disappear it. I think we should have just done it.
He's not listening.
Fair enough. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Thursday, and you know what that means. Coming up at 11:20 this morning, Fight Club. Oh, are you not? You're official. Oh, I thought the thing had been.
No. I still have to leave. So listen, I know this is something that we do every week. This is appointment listening, as we've been told to have appointment listening.
Yeah.
That's Radio 101, but we can't do it because
No, wait, scratch that. What time are you out?
I have to leave at 10:30.
Great, 10 o'clock, Fight Club.
Okay.
Stay in.
All
Stay
right.
Here.
Fine.
That actually might work out just fine because early this morning when I was coming in, I came across a safety meeting being held in the parking lot by Nine and Matt Man from the Rise guys. And Nine said, I don't know about Matt Man yet, but Nine said he'd pop in around 10 o'clock to talk some wrestling with us. So I've wrestling with the Rise guys here on Fight Club with Lonzo, your home for all things combat sports around the upstate.
Good, because some stuff happened this week.
Some
walkouts happened
Yeah.
this week that really need to be discussed.
Yeah.
And also, I'm just going to throw this out there. I don't know that it's been 2 weeks that you saw about the Rose Namajunas fight. Really want, and I know Nine, by the way, big MMA guy.
Sure.
He's actually done some color commentary for local MMA stuff. So I know he knows that too. But it is the worst fight I've ever seen in my entire life.
I watched it.
I shouldn't use the word fight.
No, I was going to say.
We could save it.
You stole my punchline because that's exactly where I was going. I watched that fight. What was it? 2 weeks ago now. I watched that fight, and Lonzo, you know me, man. Like I, despite my irreverent claims to the opposite, I really do try with sports that I want to grow: soccer, MMA, boxing. I really do try to look at the silver linings. I really do try to be the optimist. I really do try to do whatever I can do to make even the bad seem good, right? I really do. I did a whole segment about it yesterday regarding the MLS. I really do try to make the bad seem good. I watched that fight. And it's not just that it was MMA. And here, let me go Liberab the Woke Warrior on you for a second. Not just that it was MMA, but women's MMA, right? I want women's MMA to get as much respect as the men's side does because some of them women, Amanda Nunes, bad bees, if you know what I mean, I want it to get that love.
Not anymore. She
not
lost.
anymore, you know what I mean? But I that was messed up. I watched that fight. And like 7-8 minutes into that fight, I'm like, dude, this fight is setting women's MMA back like 10 years.
See, you're making a distinction there, and you shouldn't. It's set MMA period back. It is.
Fair enough.
It is. Wow. We need it.
fair enough.
We need to save it. But
10
it's
o'clock,
it's
1 hour
it's
from
back.
right. 1 hour from right now, be here as we have a special impromptu edition of Fight Club coming up at 10 o'clock, which is good, Zoe, because it lets us open that segment up to a whole new audience to convince them to stick around until the 11 o'clock hour most other Thursdays. Lonzo has to depart us at halftime of the show, meaning that I will be taking over the producer role at 10:30. So we'll do Fight Club at 10 o'clock, mainly because, and this may shock you, Lonzo, it's my show and I want to.
That's why your name's like on it.
That's it.
Rob Brown Show. Yeah, there's
Flag,
like there's a banner
that.
over there. Yeah.
Those of you on the stream, the logo's right there. It's got my name on
If
it.
if you go to the website, the Fan Upstate, it says the Rob Brown Show.
Correct.
So, yeah, that's how that works.
Correct.
Even the scroll across the stream right there says
Yeah.
the Rob Brown Show is okay.
That's
all
right. We don't play. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what, Zoe? Why wait? Why wait? Why wait and why not just jump into it right now? Straight to audio if you don't mind, Lonzo. Don't worry, I got a minute. I got to set it up first. Yesterday, Nicholas Saban. You may have heard that name before. He is the head coach at the University of Alabama. That is a moderately large Division I football program based out in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. You may have heard of it. Anyway, Nick Saban was doing a Q&A with some media yesterday afternoon. And Nick Saban decided that, I think we've pulled enough punches here. I think we just need to go ahead and take the gloves off. And decided to wholesale open palm strike to the nose Jimbo Fisher's Aggies of Texas A&M by saying this.
You've read about them. You know who they are. I mean, we were second in recruiting last year. A&M was first. A&M bought every player on their team, made a deal for name, image, and likeness. All right, we didn't buy one player. All right, but I don't know if we're going to be able to sustain that in the future because more and more people are doing it.
So he says Texas A&M bought every player of their number one recruiting class. Now, let me tell you what Nick Saban is actually upset about. What Nick Saban is actually upset about is that the status quo has been upset. And now all the things that made Nick Saban the most dominant recruiting expert in all of college football, those things are now variables, not dictations. Those things are not the things that make him the best. They are now parts of a formula that now includes this other really large variable that he does not have direct control over, and it cost him recruits, and he's not happy about it. Have you noticed so far, with a very few rare exceptions going both ways, the majority of the people who have been the loudest in their complaints about the NIL are whom? Head coaches at consistently powerful Division I universities. Dabo, Saban, Day, etc. Those are the guys that have spoken out about this the most. Everybody else, with again, a few rare exceptions going both ways, has gone, hey, this kind of helps level the playing field a little bit, right? Kind of gives us an opportunity to be in the same discussion. So what Texas A&M did, just like South Carolina has done, just like, hey ho, would you look at that, Clemson has done, they set up an organization that is not school affiliated, that helps athletes take advantage of NIL deals, set up those NIL deals, and be prepared when they step on campus to do just that.
I do have a question. How can you set something up and it not be school affiliated? Because you set it up, so that makes it school affiliated, doesn't it?
It is set up. You're right. I should not have used the words Texas A&M set up.
Because that's the problem.
People who have power at Texas A&M but are not university affiliated
Boosters.
set this up.
Boosters.
Could be boosters. It could be business owners. It could be random dudes in the streets that set up an NIL organization.
Has anyone fact-checked Nick Saban to find out if, in fact, Texas A&M, all their recruits have NIL deals?
I do not know. If they have, I haven't found it.
If they do, is he wrong?
Is he wrong?
No. Is he wrong?
He's mad about something that's not bad, right? Like that would be like me saying if I showed up 10 minutes late to work and my boss gave a raise to the guy who didn't, me being like, wait, boss, hang on. He got up earlier than me, had his clothes laid out the night before, showered the night before, so all he had to do was show up and do his hair, and then I showed up here to the best of my ability. Yeah, no, that's how it works. All the things you're mad about are things that are good, are allowed, aren't against the rules. All Saban is saying here is the status quo of college football recruiting as it has been in the past that I have dominated is not the same anymore.
You're right. What he's saying now, it's highest bidder. So if you can pay the players more, you're going to get the best recruits. Right or wrong, that's how it is now, which means that college football has changed, and people were wanting, we don't want the same four teams all the time. Well, you're probably not going to get that coming up soon because the schools who are in places where there's more money is where the kids are going to start going. Whether that's right or wrong.
Deion Sanders and Jackson State just got the best high school football player in the country to come there.
There are going to be exceptions because it's
Sure.
Deion Sanders. And there's always going to be exceptions. If you've got a star guy somewhere, he's still going to be able to attract people. And why is the money in Jackson State? Because Deion Sanders is there.
Sure.
That's why the money's
Sure.
there.
Seems like a really good reason. To go
How
find
many
yourself a
commercials have you
high-profile
seen
coach.
Deion do, and he ain't played football in, what, 20
He
years
don't
or
need to.
something?
He's prime time, baby.
Exactly.
He's prime time.
Whether it's right or wrong, this is going to change the landscape of college football. And I get that you like it. And that's good. And my concern is when it affects the play on the field. You know, if these guys still come out and play as hard as they would have for Alabama, cool. I mean, you know, Alabama misses out by not buying players.
So, a few things. Number one, you and I have had that discussion before, and I think you were not happy with. I'm not going to say trying to change, because I don't think you've lobbied against it, like changing it back. But you are apprehensive about the new system based on something that we haven't even really had the opportunity to see if it's going to happen or not. And on top of that, I promise you, if there's a kid at Texas A&M who got a $78,000, $178,000, $278,000 a year NIL deal, who shows up and he doesn't bust hump and he doesn't do the best he can to help Jimbo Fisher's Texas A&M football team win, at the end of the day, it's great that the students are getting all this extra money. But at the end of the day, Jimbo Fisher's paycheck only gets signed if he's winning football games. And if a kid that might have in other years gone to Alabama and helped bump them up to the number one class decides to go to Texas A&M because they've got an NIL program that went into place that said, we got $178K a year for you if you come here, but he shows up and he slouches and he half-asses on the practice field and he doesn't give it his all in his game, Jimbo Fisher's still going to cut him. He's going to run him because while it's good that the employees, if that's what you want to call them, are making more money, as long as those words not mine,
Come on. They're employed by someone. So that makes them an employee, right?
I mean, not of the football program, right?
Allegedly.
As I said last
allegedly,
week,
yeah.
am I an employee of Harley-Davidson of Greenville?
Again,
No.
but you don't say they're not employees because they are. They're working for someone.
If you want to get into that vernacular discussion, sure. Irrelevant to the conversation in that if the employees are getting paid more, but the boss sees the job isn't getting done, he'll go find your NIL deal somewhere else, right? It doesn't impact Jimbo Fisher whether a kid's got a deal or not.
He'll go find your NIL deal somewhere else, not go find another team. So,
Well, that's what I meant.
Yeah, but the way you're saying it, it means go find your money somewhere else.
Right.
Not go. Okay.
I'm setting this hypothetical up as if Nick Saban is right. Okay? As if Nick Saban is right. If Nick Saban is right, and if Texas A&M has the number one recruiting class in the country because they set up the NIL deals and bought the number one recruiting class, if he's correct. If Jimbo Fisher's number one recruiting class goes out there and 2 years from now, they finish the season 7-5 and not in contention for the SEC West, Jimbo Fisher is going to go, guys, this isn't good enough. This isn't working. My paycheck is threatened. So go find your NIL deals somewhere else. I'm not giving you the scholarship next year.
All right, so I have a question because I'm looking this up, and according to the Bro Bible site, so take it however you want. There's a tweet on there to answer the OP's question. The number I've heard is between 25 and 30 million. That was as of first signing. We're nowhere near prepared to dish out that kind of money. A&M's donors were extremely coordinated. The coaching staff would identify players they wanted, relay those to the point donor, and then that individual would work with various other donors to build an LLC that would sponsor the targeted player. So the thing is, they know what recruits they want to go after. How does the people who are not employed by the university know that unless someone from the university tells them this is who we're going after? And if that's the only way to do it, then the school is involved. That's all. That's what I'm saying.
I am not an attorney. I am not an NIL expert. I did not stay at Holiday Inn Express last night. I probably should take the one night to sit down and read through all of the rules, but I have a
But you
life.
are the smartest person in the room. So I'm just saying it looks like, and this kind of makes sense all the way around. How do the boosters, how do the people who are not employees of the school know who to go after unless an employee of the school, an assistant coach, tells them, hey, we're going after this guy? Do they just hang around and go, oh, they went to this guy's house, and then they just follow up? They have their plane, follow their plane, and see where they're going, and that's how they do it? No. The coaches are saying, hey, we're going after this guy. So that becomes a problem because it said the school won't be involved, and there's no way the schools can't be involved.
So here's the answer I'd like to give. My understanding is the schools cannot be involved in the handling of money. The schools cannot be involved with, hey, player X, we got this much money over here for you. That does not mean that the schools cannot say that coaches cannot tell people, yeah, we're interested in that quarterback. We're interested in that wide receiver. And then what those people do with that information is up to them, right? Now, that's not secret information, right? There are recruiting sites that have 2025 recruits and who's interested in them that you can go look at now. A number of years ago, there was the joke going around that wasn't a joke, that Lane Kiffin and Nick Saban were offering scholarships to middle school quarterbacks. It's no secret what kids the school wants, what recruits the schools want to bring in. It's not a shock to anybody. Now, if a coach calls high-level booster A and goes, yo, this kid out of Lakeland, Florida, 5-star QB, that's the guy we want. And those boosters go, all right, let's put together an LLC. Let's put together a company that can rep this kid or this kid can rep. Do I like it? No. Is it illegal? It happens all the time. It happens with every politician you know.
By the way, I agree with you. But this is not what they're saying. They're saying the school won't be involved, and there's no way that the school cannot be involved.
That is not. The school is not involved in this. The only thing that is governed, hang on, the school saying we're recruiting this kid. That's not involvement. That's just saying the same things that have been said for years. Go to Scout, go to Rivals, go to 24/7 Sports. You can see every kid the school is actively recruiting, down to what coaches visited them, where, how, what method of communications they use, what method of travel they use to get there. The school's not involved any more than they have ever put out information in the past. It's just that now there are high-level, very rich people who are utilizing the information that has always been available and doing something new with it. Let's pick this up on the other side because old Nick went after Dion. He brought it against Dion too. And Dion responded because he's Deion Sanders. We'll pick up this conversation. I want your thoughts. Fan phone, 844-326-3663, 844-FAN phone. Text us on the Preferred Home Services text line, 71307. We are back after this on the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate.
QC.
Let me tell you about our friends at QC Kinetics, ladies and gentlemen. QC Kinetics is All right, stream. Good morning. Where is everybody? You guys are late. Get in here. Good morning, Lou. Nephew Lou is watching back in Florida. Hey, buddy. Thanks for coming in, man. How was your ride in the race car yesterday?
Ooh, we got to ride in a race car?
Yeah, Lou got to go in the race car yesterday.
Oh, that is cool.
Fast car.
You locked in on a Tiger? I don't.
And I'm locked in on Tiger Woods, the
Or-
PGA Championship.
I thought you meant how Rob is dressed like Tiger today.
I did put on one of my golf shirts today.
Yeah,
This
that's
is one of my golf
definitely a
shirts.
golf shirt.
Yeah, it's one of my golf shirts. And
It's
I'll have
not red, though,
I'll have my
so-
other one tomorrow. No, red's only for Sundays.
Okay. Is that how that
Red's
works?
only for, yeah, Tiger Woods red on Sundays.
You have a Prisma in the next break. I should, when I go over there, just log in to StreamYard and just be on the show and not talking
Just
from the
Stu
other
would just
from the
watch
other
you
studio.
work.
No, just from the other studio. I might do that.
Just watch you work.
I might do that just because I don't want you to feel lonely. So I'll still be on the show. I just can't talk. I'll just wave every once in a while. That might be frowned upon, but there again, they might think it's funny. Who knows? As we know, I have cameras in there, so I could definitely do that.
All right, let's keep going on this this Nick Saban inspired story. We'll also tell you that the PGA Championship is underway. I will be keeping an eye on that scoreboard for you as the day goes on. Tiger Woods has gone ahead and taken off this morning. He is paired up with Rory McIlroy, and really good opening hole. Really good tee shot to start. I don't know what, if anything, that means, but it was a good start for Eldrick. So I'll follow the leaderboard for you and let you know. And Jordan Spieth in that round too, or in that group too. So anyway, I'll keep you up to date the best I can on the opening round of the PGA Championship. Preferred Home Services text line 71307. It's open for you. Start your text with FAN, FAN, so we can read them on the air. You can also give us a call at 844 FAN phone, 844 FAN FONE, 844 326 3663. So, we talked a little bit about the comments of Nick Saban. He said that Texas A&M bought their recruiting class. Zoe asked the question, paraphrasing, I thought that schools could not be involved. Isn't this the schools being involved? And my answer is no, it's not. It's not the schools being involved. The schools are basically doing what the schools have always done. They're going to give out their recruiting information, right? They're going to say, we're looking at these guys. We specifically like these guys. These are the positions they play, et cetera, et cetera. There is an entire, and you know this, Lonzo, because I complain about it every year. There is an entire branch of sports media dedicated only to recruiting. Only. These guys only do recruiting. All they do is follow the schools and follow the players and figure out what schools are talking to what players and what direction the players are leaning. And they scour these kids' tweets and Instagram posts and go to every one of these kids' games and interview them just to try to get the smallest hint as to which direction they're leaning, et cetera, because there are rabid college football fans that eat up the decisions of a 17-year-old kid and where he's going to play college football. The schools have always done what they are doing. There is one difference in the NIL world. And the one difference in the NIL world is that now there are a bunch of rich and rabid college football fans who can do something in the open with that information. We have said the whole time, the only difference between then and now is what? $500 handshakes are basically sign a contract and it's cool now, right? It's always happened. And yes, it's always happened more at the places like Alabama and Georgia than it's been able to happen at smaller schools. Because at smaller schools, there just aren't the amount of rich boosters to hand out dollar bills, y'all. So the only difference now is that there are these rich boosters who now know, scratch that, who have always known what kids the school's going after, what position these kids play, et cetera, et cetera. And so the rich guys and gals that are boosters now have the opportunity to go, okay, my school really wants this 4-star quarterback out of Lakeland, Florida. So I'm going to take my business, this LLC that operates Bobby's Car Wash right on University Avenue downtown, and I'm going to go to that kid, hey, we're putting out this much money in NIL deals this year to Texas A&M players. Just a heads up, right? The school is not involved in that. They're not doing anything different than they've ever done before. It's just now there are rich dudes who care more about the success of their football program than they do their cash, their money, that are willing to pay for the success of their college football program, that have that information and the ability to talk to these kids and go, here's what's on the table. Should you be interested? Jimbo Fisher is not involved in that. The athletic director is not involved with that. That is set up by the school doing what the school has always done, recruiting. And then boosters doing what boosters have always done, boosting. The only thing that's changed is what's being boosted. That's it. The boosters used to boost the athletic department, the football team. The boosters used to put in money that would go in towards new facilities or a new university-provided car for the coach to drive around in. Saban's got like 4, right? Or it used to go towards outfitting a house for the coach. Or it used to go towards a new jet for recruiting trips. That's what used to be boosted. And it still will be. There are still lots of people putting lots of cash into the athletic departments. It's just now the players are boosted too. That's the only difference. The problem that Nick Saban has here, Lonzo, is that there has been a status quo for many years since Nick, I don't know how many times I have to say I won't be the head coach at Alabama, head coach of Alabama, Saban. There's been a status quo that he has dominated for years, which is why Alabama has been in so many damn playoff circumstances or BCS circumstances before it. And now that status quo has been picked up and power slammed onto its face. The status quo does not exist anymore. Now, let's give Nick Saban a lot of credit. Nick Saban, as much if not more than any other head coach in the game, has always been the most adept at adapting to the changing landscape of college football, right? When college football started shifting away from a traditionally run-based to a more wide-open spread-style offense, and Saban said, do we really want this to be the future of college football? And college football said yes, and then Saban came out there and beat you at that game. At some point, Saban is going to figure out the status quo that is created by NIL. He's done it every other time he has complained about college football shifting. He has figured out the new status quo, went out there and dominated it. And he's going to do the same here. Zoe, if there is one team that has been a consistent postseason participant, it's been Alabama. If there's one team I would bank is going to be moving forward, it'll be Alabama, because it always is. Nick Saban better than Dabo, better than Jimbo, better than any other coach in college football, has figured out how to adapt his program to whatever the new status quo is. Does not mean he does not complain about the new status quo. He's done it multiple times in Tuscaloosa. This is the most recent. But just like every other time he's complained about the status quo, he goes and he figures it out and he adapts and then he beats you with it.
All right, you said that he went at Deion. I've been waiting for that because I want to hear what he said to Deion.
He didn't. So let me rephrase that. It wasn't like a Mac Daddy pimp slap, but he said, paraphrasing because I don't have the quote in front of me. But paraphrasing, Lonzo, he effectively said, don't tell me that the number one recruit in the country goes to Jackson State if there's not a $1 million and very publicly known $1 million NIL contract on the line. He effectively said, Deion's not getting the best player in the country if Jackson State can't fork over $1 million in NIL. And he's not wrong.
I was going to say, how's he not wrong?
He's absolutely not wrong. But the question is the system broken, or is Nick just mad that now number one recruits in the country might not go to Alabama? This kid was a Florida State commit, right? He was a Florida State guy. When Florida State was going through their coaching search after letting go of Willie Taggart, Dave Portnoy and the boys at Barstool Sports really wanted to look. Oh, you missed John Daly. John Daly's playing and he looks like Santa. It's amazing. He's wearing like green with red pants. It's beautiful. When they were going through the coaching search at Florida State, Dave Portnoy had been doing work with Deion Sanders and wanted Deion to get that job. Florida State said, no, we good. We like Deion, but he's got no qualifications. We're going to go with Mike Norvell. Portnoy and the boys at Barstool, since that point, consistently went after Florida State for not hiring Deion, who, at the time, was doing work for Barstool. He was not necessarily an employee, but I guess a contributor. So because he was a contributor at Barstool tried to get him the job in Tallahassee. Florida State said no. Barstool said, we are going to do whatever we can to make life miserable for Mike Norvell and Florida State. So when Hunter Travis, the number one recruit in the country, was a Florida State commit, Barstool allegedly went to Deion and Jackson State and came up with a way that they could get a $1 million NIL deal to Hunter Travis and said, we want you to come play for Deion Sanders. We'll NIL you $1 million. Now, do I think that's crappy? Yes! I think Dave Portnoy sucks for that. Okay? I think he sucks for that. It's not cool. But do you know how many decisions in the grand scheme of business are made every day that I think the people who make them suck, i.e. our entire healthcare industry? I can't stand it either. So I'm not going to go, I can't stand all those, but I'm going to let them stand, but we'll go here. We'll talk more about it later. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo. It's the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate.
Prisma.
to turn this back on after the break. But yeah, we're streaming. Go to facebook.com/thefanupstate, twitter.com/thefanupstate, or search The Rob Brown Show on YouTube. And like and subscribe. You can watch the show live. Let me say this about the NIL stuff, and then I will drop it for a little while unless you guys want to continue the discussion, which is absolutely fine by me. What I have found is that the majority of, not all, but the majority of the arguments that I've heard about, against NIL, and that includes the argument that Nick Saban made today, in my opinion, the way that I have interpreted it. The majority of the arguments against name, image, and likeness are very simply, the status quo has changed and I don't like it. That's it, right? The argument that I have heard, the most common sentence that I have heard from people who have discussed this before is this what we want college football to be? Right? I've heard that 100 times. I'm going to say I have heard it from Mark Ryan. I have heard it from Nick Saban. I have heard it from many, many guests on different shows across the country. Is this what we want college football to be? That's not an argument, right? That's not an argument. That's a statement. Scratch that. It's a question. It's a question. And the answer to me is, why not? What's wrong with it? You have to tell me why this question, is this what we want college football to be, is followed up by an argument about why it's bad, right? But basically, and I'm not saying everybody. There are some people. Michael Stathakis is on my Twitter right now. That guy has hit me with some good arguments that I've really had to think about. But the overwhelming majority of the people that I have heard arguing against it are bringing to the table the argument that the status quo has changed and I don't like it. And that's really it. That's really it. Lonzo, look at Tyler Hero coming to the press conference dressed like knockoff MJF, and Bam Adebayo just mocking him for it. I love it. Hey, speaking of wrestling, it's Thursday, and you know what that means. It means Fight Club, usually at 11:20. But today, we hit it next because Lonzo's got to go at 10:30. So we're going to do Fight Club now. You know why? Because we're better than you. And we know it. And that's not true, because it's my show and I want to. That's the correct answer. Fight Club next. More NIL talk in the last hour. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. The Rob Brown Show's on the radio. It's the Fan Upstate. Do you want to roll the show intro? Hey, buddy, come on in, man.
Up to you. We can do it that way, or we can just start with. It doesn't matter.
Hey, just start with it. Who cares? Hey, doing, partner?
Who cares?
Pull up a chair or a stool, whichever you prefer. Make yourself at home. How'd the show go, Bubba?
It's fun.
Yeah.
Fast today. Like a fast show.
Yeah, we had Saban yelling about NIL stuff, and that made it easy for me.
Yeah, that's
You
really
know what
easy.
I'm going to try here, Lonzo?
What you gonna try? You gonna try to get both? I mean, in the future, like I said, we can get a laptop set up.
We're being joined by a special guest here. Oh, God.
I was trying to
No, you're good. You're good.
You're about to get checked into the glass here in a second because that thing is. You guys still have the glass on your side?
Yeah, we do.
Here, let me do this. I'm gonna move my headset over. Use this one right here. You're good, Bubba. Get yourself all plugged in. There we go.
Look at that. Making
That's
the
adapting
adjustments.
on the fly. Adapting on the fly.
I'm not adapting. It's what I'm doing.
No. We're jumping right into it. Jumping right into it. Lonzo's got to go at 10:30. So ordinarily we do it around 11:20, but Lonzo's got to run out at 10:30, so we moved it to 10. So that works out just fine.
Yeah, I'm needed elsewhere.
Somebody's got to be important, Lonzo, and it's not going to be me. Damn it.
I'm not going to deny that I'm important, but you know.
How's your response from New Orleans?
It's picking up.
Is it?
It's been pretty good.
Yeah.
They're cool people we hear from down there.
Yeah. I've got I got a buddy who lives down there who texted me one day, and he's like right after you guys came on, and he said, "These two guys just said they're in Greenville. Do you know them?" I'm like, "I'm literally working 30 feet from them." Yes.
I like New Orleans people.
Oh, dude.
Cool town with cool people, man.
That's my city, homeboy. All right, I'm gonna go with the maybe I'm gonna go with the old school radio setup so we can get us both in here. There we go. Look at that. Look at John Daly on top of the leaderboard. Let's go. 200 through 7.
You're right. I
like
can
it.
see the Santa Claus, but I also see David Letterman,
Oh,
the Letterman beard.
he's got the Letterman beard, but John Daly is. If Santa had too many peppermint schnapps at Christmas, he'd turn into John Daly. One of my favorite drinks is to take an Arnold Palmer sweet tea and lemonade, put some vodka in it, becomes a John Daly.
Speaking a foreign language to me, but I'm sure Nine knows what you're talking about.
Everybody going home and drinking on the porch.
Big fan. Big fan. Big fan.
It's gonna be too hot later. I gotta do it early.
Courtney and I have talked about putting we got a brick patio for a back porch, but it's not covered, and we're like going through projects of what we want to do next. And the next two projects were, do we fence in the yard so that we can just let the dog out and not have to worry about it, or do we cover the patio so we can drink outside more? And I think that one's winning, actually.
Yeah. Man, there's nothing I love more than having a covered porch with a ceiling fan. Keep bugs away. keep
Yeah.
the breeze flowing. It's great.
I told her, if you cover the
Great when
porch,
you spray weed on the porch, the neighbors don't smell it.
you cover the porch. I'm sticking a TV on the brick wall, and I'm watching every baseball game forever outside.
With a ceiling fan.
With a ceiling fan. With a ceiling fan. Well, it's the South. Every porch should have a ceiling fan,
Yeah.
regardless of reason.
Yeah, you need one.
Oh, Lonzo, I'm still not used to 6-minute breaks.
That's a long break.
Long break. Well,
Must have walked in right towards the beginning of it.
you walked in right as we went to break. We switched when we switched over to CBS from a 4-segment hour to a 3-segment hour.
Oh, yeah.
So we got one last break, so we spread 6 minutes worth of break between 3 other breaks.
Welcome into the Fight Club where, they try to move it. They try to cancel it. What do? We put it right in her face.
We do what the bleep we want.
Just like a Tyson punch right to gut to a guy on a plane who deserved it. That's what we do.
That guy so deserves.
That's what we do.
He deserves so much worse.
But he's famous now, so I mean, if it's worth it, we have a special guest, 9. I got to ask you, is it worth being famous to get punched in the face by Mike Tyson?
You know what? I'm pretty good, man, personally.
Yeah, hang on. There we go.
There we go.
No, I'm good personally. You know, fame is cool, but, you know.
In fairness, 9's already famous.
He
doesn't
is.
need to take
He
an
is.
ass whooping for it.
Well, I have, but I've gotten to the point where I'd rather be rich than famous.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Tupac rapped about.
Yeah.
Better than famous.
Yeah, I'd like to try that. I've been punched in the face before too. It's not pleasant.
Yeah, but you didn't get famous from it,
No.
right? Like I don't know. The question would be 5 minutes, or let's say 1 minute in the ring with Iron Mike. What's it going to cost, right? What does somebody have to sign a paycheck to you to go a minute with Iron Mike in the ring? 60 seconds.
So you talked about getting rich.
But you can't run from him. You got to fight him.
Where at in the face?
I didn't say that. I said 1 minute in the ring with Mike,
Oh,
but you
1
have
minute.
to actually fight him. You can't just run in circles. I'd pass out if I ran for
Well,
60 seconds. But you get it.
man.
Floyd Mayweather, like, how many punches does he throw for a minute? I mean, so you got to, what is actually fighting? You mean you got to go toe to
Like you got
toe?
to try to beat Mike Tyson.
This isn't going to go a minute, though. I'm not
No,
going to
not a
last a
chance.
full minute.
Not a chance.
So-
You're going to sleep.
So you could take a dive.
Yeah,
you could
no,
take one
no, no, no.
putt.
You got to
Well-
have some honor here, man.
Well-
Let's just get away with it. I can get away
Yeah,
with it.
Yeah.
I can. I'm an amateur.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I could say I took a dive even though the punch knocked me out. Oh yeah, man, I just wanted the money.
By the way, for those of you who don't know, this is 9. He is 25% of Greenville's most popular morning radio show, and Chattanooga's and New Orleans. What is it? Bayou 95.7.
That's right, man. Bayou crew down there.
That's right. That's right. 9 is going to start coming in on Thursdays when he has time, and he's not bigwigging all of us as he is known to do.
I usually have time. I don't do much.
Yeah, me either.
Let's
Me
go
either.
home after this.
9's going to come join us on Fight Club and talk some wrestling. Lonzo, let's do that.
All right, so the biggest. See, I was concerned that I wouldn't get to talk about the biggest story in wrestling this week.
CM Punk's T-shirt.
No, I don't. I do not want to address
I didn't
that.
think
But
you would.
it's
Wrong town to talk about that.
yeah, it cements my opinion about him. But anyway, all right. So Sasha Banks walks out. The Glow walks out in the middle of a live show. Is this a work or is this not? Because I've been listening to a bunch of other shows. I've waffled back and forth about whether I think this is a work or a shoot. And this plays into the hands of the bloodline. It really does. But when the WWE official they threw out their statement, they mentioned that it is a scripted show on Monday night.
And what else did they do? They called them championship belts.
Yeah, they did. They don't do that anymore.
Somewhere Mark Henry was fuming.
Yeah, well, not only Mark. Remember, it was Big Show.
Big Show,
Big
that's
Show.
right,
Big Show got downright angry
Show
when
chastised Lonzo.
when I said it was.
Chastised Lonzo.
It's okay. It was the Big Show doing that to me. And if he was, I might have been scared if he was actually in studio, but he was on StreamYard with us, and it was he visibly his demeanor changed when I said
He
belt.
did not like
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, it's so.
He drank the Kool-Aid for too long.
So I know Nine's been a fan for a long time. Do you think it's real or do you think it's fake? Do you think that this is they actually just quit?
I think they walked out. I don't think they quit. I think they walked out on that show. I mean, they're still under contract. They'll probably be back. I think they walked out. It used to happen all the time back in the territory days.
Oh yeah.
Your top guys, they could just walk out.
So
You'd bring them back because you needed them.
I think a couple of things. I think first off, I absolutely think it's I think it's a shoot. I think it's real. And I think it's a shoot because of the statement, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing to issue a statement because WWE does fake statements all the time, right?
Yeah.
I don't think Ronda Rousey genuinely broke Charlotte Flair's arm, but they came out with a statement of, oh, she broke her arm, right?
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they put out a statement and broke all the kayfabe in it, right? Unless they are setting up a work that is within the realm of breaking kayfabe. And they tried that once before. They tried that with Goldberg and Steiner back in the day. Remember that?
did.
They had this whole thing about no scripts. They went off script. This is not scripted. And then the fight was the most awful scripted fight of all time.
Yeah, it was.
I don't think they're going to do that. Here's the other thing. Sasha Banks is a bona fide star right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, she's been on the Disney Plus side of things. She's been in movies. She would be a hot commodity, both in Hollywood, for AEW, wherever she could go.
All over the place.
Hot commodity, right? Mm-hmm. So I think this is WWE trying to get out front of it and control the narrative before. Because if Sasha says, I got something to say, she's on every outlet.
There's also such a seething, angry statement. I mean, you can read between the lines. Somebody was mad. It was like a butthurt kind of statement.
Yeah. It really was.
To it.
Yeah.
And Corey Graves, saying what he said on the air and being chastised for it, doing his job and doing it really well. And he rubs people the wrong way on purpose all the time. And that's what you want from your heel announcer. But I was listening to Busted Open yesterday, and they had Road Dogg on there, and he thinks that it's not real. He says, because he's in the writing room for a long time, he was a producer for a long time there, and he says they've had worse ideas. So
I'm sure
that made me think.
They have aired worse
yeah,
ideas.
that made me, and the rumor was out there that Naomi was going to join the Bloodline soon. So I mean, and this is a perfect way to do it. Roman Reigns says, "Hey, you get yours. You don't get treated that way. The championships mean more. You go in there and you do what you got to do." And then suddenly she shows up Friday night.
Let's be honest. If they were going to do that, that's a segment, right? Like that's the camera catching Roman talking to Naomi and going, "Hey, you're married into the bloodline. You go in there and you tell Adam Pearce what it's going to be, and you lay it down because the big dog said so."
It's not Friday yet.
And they
it
just
could still
bounced.
happen. It could still happen.
But that was a Raw segment, right? Like,
yeah, it doesn't matter. They've been going back and forth.
But so we do know for a fact, because the dirt sheets have had it, we know for a fact that they were in the building, that they were there, that they did do this. The question is this, was it something that, because at this point, with social media and with these dirt sheets so ingrained, everything that happens is reported.
Everything,
right?
Be it of note or otherwise. Yeah,
absolutely
important.
Absolutely. Sasha Banks changed her socks is going to get out there.
Oh, yeah.
So if you want to do a storyline like this, you do have to have it happen. The question is it real or not? The statement to me and the fact they broke kayfabe with it, and the fact that nothing else has come of it since that statement leads me to think it's real. What's interesting is I don't think Corey Graves did anything wrong. I think what people are upset about is that there have been other wrestlers in the past that have walked off, and the first time that two women of color do it, that's when WWE feels like we need to jump out and control this narrative, and that's got people riled up.
Tony Storm. That was fine.
Right. Correct. Yeah. Exactly.
I don't remember the last time Vince McMahon tried to work the internet, basically. Like, he really understands that he's making all that money off those TV deals, so that's where we're going to take. If they're going to let a big angle play out, it's going to be on TV. And it was, to an extent, in a roundabout way, but I don't think it's the WWE way, at least not anymore.
What else we got, Zoe?
Well, let's talk about somebody who should Ric Flair get back in the ring? I mean, at 73 years old, he's been training. He says one last time. And one last time already happened for him.
One last time, 19 times.
Yeah.
This is when your favorite band is on farewell tour number 12.
Is he so desperate for money that, or just the attention that he needs to get back in the ring one more time? And would you pay to see it?
I think he needs the money, and I think he really wants to do it. I don't think he cares if he dies in the ring. I saw Lawler wrestle earlier this year in Spartanburg, South Carolina. He had a match. It's an old Lawler match where nothing really happens.
Yeah.
And he did have a heart attack, and he died at ringside in Montreal, but he doesn't have a pacemaker like Flair. So should Flair do it? I don't think so. But, his body, his choice.
Should he do it? No, dude. Not only are you 73, you're not like 73, but one of those 73-year-olds like we're all like, damn, I hope I'm in good shape at 73. You're Ric Flair 73. What was interesting, I don't know if you saw this, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat came out with a statement yesterday because initially that was supposed to be Rick's opponent. It was supposed to be Rick and FTR versus Rock and Roll Express and Ricky. And Ricky came out and was like, I initially thought about it, but he goes, no. And they said, why? Like, you see, and he does seem to be in decent shape.
Yeah.
They said, why you seem to be in good shape? And he said, because I fought Jericho at WrestleMania 25, and that's what I want fans to remember. He was good. He was good.
He was really good.
Because they did that, and then they did a solo match again on whatever the next pay-per-view was, and he was good in both of them against Jericho. And granted, Jericho could make a broom look good, but Ricky looked in shape and looked like he was still there. And he said, at the end of the day, in 20, 25, 30 years when I'm gone, I don't want the last memory of me being 70-year-old Ricky the Dragon Steamboat and 73-year-old Ric Flair gimping around the ring together, trying not to hurt each other and barely doing anything. And that's it with Rick. Like, if you're Rick, you could go to whatever company would have you, because that Dark Side of the Ring documentary with him really did a number on him. Yeah, it did. You could come back to whatever company would have you, be it AEW, Ring of Honor, WWE, whatever's left of the mid-tier promotions, and be somebody's launch pad, right? Like, pick your guy that you're going to give the Ric Flair rub to, and you would go out with the hottest of hot, but you're going to wrestle at the Nashville Fairgrounds.
Yeah.
For
his son-in-law, right? For
Conrad. For in front of, I'm sure there's going to be a couple thousand people because it's Ric Flair, but like for a show that would ordinarily have 400 people at it, like, come on, Rick.
Yeah. So you're saying you wouldn't go see it?
I'm telling you, I am not going to see it.
All right.
Yeah. All right. If it came to my town, I wouldn't go see it.
I was exactly right. I said that if this show was in Spartanburg, a place I have gone to wrestling shows, and Ric Flair was wrestling, I wouldn't do it for the exact reason that Ricky said. I don't want, even though it'd be cool to see Ric Flair.
Yeah.
I talked about Leo Messi yesterday coming to MLS. The difference is Leo Messi can still play, right? So I want to see that. If Leo Messi was 65 and coming to play for Charlotte FC, I'd be like, nah, I don't need to see it.
The other thing is, if Ric Flair dies in the ring, as Nine was mentioning earlier, if he dies in the ring, you kill Ric Flair. Do you want to be that guy for the rest of your life?
No, but somebody is going to make a fortune off of the I Killed Ric Flair t-shirts that would come out.
And see, he's doing it for his son-in-law, so if Ric Flair dies, his son-in-law is also getting a cut of the life insurance or whatever goes on.
It's probably true.
I don't think there's like a fortune to inherit, but there's probably life insurance hasn't been cashed in and spent on booze yet.
All right, so obviously he's addicted to it. And speaking of addiction,
100%.
Speaking of addiction, I don't know if you saw this last night, Rob, but Jericho's promo last night against William Regal was all about William Regal's addiction. And we talked about this before with MJF usually. How far is too far for a promo? I mean, how far is too far? How personal is too personal?
I mean, they got as personal as the urination in the tea as well.
Yes.
It's an old story. I mean, I think if Regal and Mox are cool with it, go for it. If they want to do it, that's fine.
All right, so Rob, I'm guessing you didn't see it. So Regal's answer was he goes into to Jericho's locker, pulls out his, I forget how he said toothbrush, but it wasn't tooth.
Toothbrush.
Yeah, toothbrush, yeah.
Okay.
And puts it somewhere else.
Okay, all right. My answer,
which that part was hilarious.
That was good.
My answer has always been, you can go as far as the guy that you were cutting the promo on is cool with you going, with that guy understanding that like it's gotta be level both ways, right? My favorite promo of the past, I can't even tell you, 10 years, was Samoa Joe in WWE when he came out, because there was a big thing going on. I want to say it was the Intercontinental belt. It may have been the championship, but Jeff Hardy was out there. Mustafa Ali was out there. Randy Orton was out there. And AJ Styles was out there. And Joe came out, and Jeff tried to say something, and Joe said, Jeff, why don't you pretend like this is an AA meeting and I'm sharing with the group, and shut your mouth. Randy Orton almost fell out of the ring laughing, right? It was a great line. And you could see Jeff, I don't know that Jeff was or was not expecting the line, but you could see Jeff kind of give the nod of appreciation of, okay, I just got murdered. Like, I can't do anything about that. And then he went on to, speaking of AJ, speaking of family, how's our girl Wendy, which, like, okay, dude, I'm going to sleep with your wife. If you do it right, is still a dig, man. It's still a great line. If everybody's on board with it, and it can go all the way around, but I think that's that, especially with the fact that AEW is willing to be the more adult thematic of the two shows, I almost kind of think you have to have a little bit of that. It's got to have a little edge, and you've got to be willing to blur that line between character and dude playing the character to give it that edge, because the day AEW loses that edge, is the day it's got nothing to fight WWE with.
Yeah, that's what sets them apart as much as anything else. And if you go too far in a wrestling promo, you're going to find out when you walk back through the curtain and get punched in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
It's always been the way.
That's it.
That should be the way to some extent.
All right, I know I'm going to be alone in this, more than likely alone in this, but please, why ruin a promo by giving Eddie Kingston the microphone? I mean, the
He
dude,
hates Eddie.
Dude,
Hates Eddie.
dude,
Hates Eddie.
he's not real. He can't talk. That's the thing. He
It's
can.
real about not being able to talk.
Whoa, we just stop talking and fight. Okay, all right. But I mean, the thing's flowing good between Jericho and between William Regal. Then you give Eddie Kingston the microphone. He can't wrestle. He can't talk. I don't know
Lonzo,
why.
based on the fact-
Why is he in AEW? He should be wrestling in a high school somewhere.
They got plenty of people in that company who can't wrestle. They got quite a few of them.
Lonzo comes from a school where teachers huck desk at kids. So I know for a fact, Zoe, that you had that friend back in the day that was the first dude to go tarps off and ready to scrap at the smallest slight, right? In fact, at the corporate party the other day, when we were leaving where we were, we came out and there was a guy who had left his dog in the car, and one of the girls in our group went inside and was like, yo, somebody left their dog and it's hot outside. Well, the guy come out and he's like, to the girl, he's like, you're a blanking blood, like went off to the point that I got mad. So I told the girlfriend, I'm like, get in the car. I'm going to say something to this guy because it's got, and in my head, I'm going to go, hey, dude, that's a lot.
No, it doesn't happen that way.
Take a deep breath. All we were worried about was, is the dog okay? He's like, I left the dog in the car for 2 blanking minutes. I'm going to, all my thought was, I'm going to go, hey, man, deep breath. We were worried about the dog. You said the dog's not, you came and got the dog. We're good. So too much solved. I'm like, hey, man, can you just take a deep breath? And he's like, I will bleeping kill you. That's straight where he went, right? Not, hey, man, cool, I got it. You were worried about the dog. I fixed it. No. It was, hey, take a deep breath. I will effing kill you, is what this dude says to me. The girlfriend's like grabbing the phone to call the cops before this guy finally leaves. That's Eddie Kingston, right? The dude that there's no let's de-escalate the situation, right? I love Jericho calling himself a sports entertainer because it's such a cut. But Jericho does what? He wants to do segments. He wants to do contract signings and stand behind a podium and throw fireballs. And it's great. And it's a pretty good dig at WWE, if I'm being honest with you. I really like it. Kingston is a wrestler. I'm not here to talk or throw fireballs or entertain. I'm here to punch and be punched and finish it.
Yeah,
But
and I love that.
we've all known a New Yorker just like Eddie Kingston, exactly like him. I want to hug him personally. I always have this, whenever I see him, I just want to hug him.
All right, so everything you said I get, except for the part that you said he's a wrestler, because he's not. He's just horrible. And here's what he's like.
Moxley, but not Kingston. They're the same guy.
By the way,
They're the same guy.
Moxley can wrestle. Kingston cannot. He can't wrestle. That's why he's labeled as a brawler, because even AEW knows he cannot wrestle.
Oh, he likes to do that old Japan 90s stuff, throw suplexes, drop you on your head stuff. He loves that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
here
So I guess the contrarian in me or whatever that I'm supposedly am just doesn't like him because everyone else does. I don't know. All right. We got time for one more thing, I think. I know Nine is into MMA because I've seen him be the color announcer on local MMA stuff, which if you haven't seen anything locally MMA, it's pretty good. You know what you're going to see? You're going to see real fights in local MMA, unlike what you saw in UFC a couple weeks ago
off, young man.
when Rose Namajunas came out to defend her title and just decided to not fight for 5 rounds. And, I have a very small following on Twitter, so I haven't even reached 1,000 yet. I'm pretty close, though, by the way. I'm like at 950 or something like that because I don't tweet very much. The first thing I tweeted was that has the potential to ruin all MMA. That fight right there. That is the worst fight I've ever seen in my life, including one local MMA fight I saw where 2 women were fighting, and it was at the Expo Center, and one of them just sat in the corner and did not come out for the next round.
Nothing.
That was it. She was just done. That was better than this. This was so bad. And then Rose goes on and says she won the fight. She's been going everywhere and saying she won the fight. And the only reason why she lost is because she got took down like 3 or 4 times. Yeah. It was horrible.
Nothing happened.
I mean, how do you fix something like that? And that card, everything. I mean, there was a knockout on that card. You've seen it. It made dude look old.
Yeah.
When he got kicked in it. It just, you have such a great card, and then you have that. And sometimes when the fans boo, it's because they don't realize there's a filling out process between fighters. But in this case, five rounds of filling out. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, they tried that with the performance bonuses was a way to kind of stimulate that, get people to go out there and just, kind of throw it all out. Let's see what happens. I think the biggest thing is matchups. And sometimes when it's a title fight, you get a bad matchup, and it's going to suck.
Yeah, and I agree.
And by the way, I just want to point out I'm a big Rose fan, and maybe it hurt me worse because of being a fan of hers.
I was in the same boat.
Maybe they made her mad. She decided to take it.
I'll show you guys. I'll do the opposite of take a dive. I'm gonna take a stand.
The only thing I can think of is her opponent was getting married, and maybe she just didn't want to hurt her face for a wedding day.
Break her orbital before she's got to put it. Yeah, I watched it. I didn't watch it live that night. I watched it the next day, predominantly because I saw Lonzo tweet out, "This is going to ruin MMA," and I'm like, "Wow, that seems dramatic." And I watched it in round 4. I'm like, "Oh no, he's right." Mm-hmm. My biggest take was, and I said this earlier, 9. I'm an optimist when it comes to sports. I want to see do better. Soccer, boxing, MMA, golf. Like, I will find the smallest silver lining when things go sideways for these sports and push them. And that is doubly true for women's sports because I want women's sports. I'm going to call play-by-play for the Greenville Liberty tomorrow because I want to do whatever I can to help elevate that. I watched that fight, and the thought I had was, and Lonzo, I loved his response to this. The response I had was, this fight just set women's MMA back like 10 years, right? All the work that Rousey and Holly Holm and Amanda Nunes and all the start, this set, because they build this as like, this is the biggest fight since Amanda Nunes. And it was terrible. It set it back 10 years.
The Divas era of ladies wrestling.
Yes. Yeah. And Lonzo said it was so bad, it set all of MMA back 10 years. Wow. And he might not be wrong.
Remember when they started paying boxers a lot of money? It's because they were all taking dives, so they were getting paid off. Because the gambling money is so much more than the purses were.
Oh, yeah.
And MMA is there times 10 at this point because they make decent money, but they can make a lot more money taking a dive.
Let me ask one more before we get out of here because we're right up on it, but I do need to answer to this question. With the sudden appearance a couple of weeks ago of Tony Storm, John Elite showing up last
Johnny
night.
Elite, get it right.
Johnny Elite, the artist formerly known as John Morrison. Do you find yourself pulling for former WWE guys who show up in AEW a little harder than folks that were in AEW from the beginning?
It depends entirely on who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want them to sign everybody. I think right now they're having a big problem. It's madcap trying to watch that show on Wednesday nights.
Yeah.
They're trying to squeeze everybody and everything in, and it gets way behind. By the time they're done, they got a 4-minute main event last night.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It's just overwhelmed. And but yeah, I root for the ones I like, no matter where they come from.
Sure.
That's my interest. What about you?
I do. Lonzo and I have I was going to say unspoken rivalry, but we speak it every week on Thursdays when we do this segment. I have said I think AEW is better because it's an adult wrestling show as opposed to WWE, which is scripted to make family-friendly material, which isn't my taste, which is fine. Everybody's got their own. It's the guys that I think get done wrong. I think John Morrison got done wrong because I think John Morrison, when he was rocking with The Miz, was doing incredible work.
He was doing great
I think he
work.
was carrying that. And then they're like, no, The Miz needs more. And don't get me wrong, The Miz is incredible. He's the best heel they have. But Morrison deserved better. So to see him show up, even though he got wrecked by Samoa Joe, I got high hopes for him.
Yeah, he can do something. But then again, they have a bunch of guys who fill the same role as Morrison, too.
Right.
Or Elite now. Johnny Elite. Yeah.
Johnny Elite.
Every guy in the business who can fill that role, they have him under contract right now.
All right, so 9, do you have to make a choice? Do you have to choose? Because there's people out there, and we've been to AEW shows, we've been to WWE shows. There, more so on the AEW side, people seem to think that they can only be fans of one and not the other, and not other wrestling too. Do you have to pick a side?
I watch both, and the last couple of weeks I've been extremely disappointed with both. Last night was one of the better AEW shows in like a month or so. I mean, they've had some good matches, but story-wise, nobody's booked good right now. Like, booking across the board, the only person booked good right now, like Wardlow, MJF, and Cody Rhodes. Everybody else is in the mud.
You could book MJF against a traffic cone, and he would pull it off somehow.
He can do it.
So for the record, I have said repeatedly, I do. I want to like both.
Yeah.
I just think one is a clearly superior product right now.
Yeah. I mean,
Except
Even if they've had a couple of slow shows.
except for several big time botches last night. But I mean, there was some big when you miss a kick by like this much, and JR says well, that was very precise. Yeah, he precisely missed. Okay.
they need to get those camera cuts like WWE uses to hide.
Oh,
those, 'cause that
God.
happens all the time.
No, they did it some last night. They did the behind where some of the kicks were really, really good. You could see the sweat fly off and stuff, and then immediately went around and you start seeing them miss, and it's
I'll
like
say this: when they showed at the end of the promo between Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins the other day, they cut Seth Cody about 19 times in 30 seconds,
Yeah, I've never
and I
seen
thought
it
it was
on the
gonna.
floor.
Yes, I thought it was gonna be done. 9 from the Rise guys stopping by. Thanks for coming by, big fella.
Anytime, guys.
Man, every Thursday we do this. If you want to come by, you're welcome to.
I'll be back.
Make sure you listen to the Rise guys, ladies and gentlemen, and follow. What's your Twitter handle?
You find me at Nueve.
At Nueve.
Tony
It's-
Parker tried to buy it from me one time.
Did he really?
Legit, when he was a Spur, yeah.
No joke.
Yep.
And you didn't sell it to him.
No, I wanted to keep it. I was verified.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Bye, Lonzo. See you tomorrow.
yeah. You know what? I'm pulling a Sasha. I'm walking out.
Back after this on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah, that was
Good
fun.
stuff.
I love talking about wrestling.
Oh, yeah. Well, like I said, you're welcome anytime.
So all your brakes are set up and everything.
Okay, perfect.
Should be good.
You know what I don't think they actually made us was a solo cam for this.
Well, I'm willing to do what I said. I'm willing to do that. You could just say Lonzo just doesn't want to talk.
Lonzo's just not talking to me.
Yeah.
It's like I'm getting the silent treatment. It's like an ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
Jump in if you want to. I'll change it back.
Nah.
It's up to you. If you just want people to be staring at you for
Like
And
because of my hair, not for an actual biological treatment. If you need anything, just text me.
I will.
I can run over.
I got it. I appreciate it. Yes, you probably. Then it won't. You won't get it. All right.
So big.
I pulled on glasses so I can read the comments from. Look at that. Keegan gets on the air one time. All of a sudden, he's a camera hog. I love it. I love it. I respect it. What a dramatic commercial. Oh, I guess you guys can't hear it, but that was very dramatic, and I liked it. We back. The Rob Brown Show is on your radio. This is the Fan Upstate. Hello, friends. Thank you for joining me this morning. Lonzo had to step out, take care of some stuff on the sister station, so I will be bringing us home the rest of the day. You're welcome, or I'm sorry. Whichever is more applicable, I shall do my best, ladies and gentlemen. All right, a couple of stories that I wanted to get to on the radio broadcast today that we have not gotten to as of yet. Broke earlier this week that the United States men's and women's national soccer teams have ratified a new collective bargaining agreement with U.S. Soccer that include now an equal split of World Cup bonuses. The Federation and the two unions both announced that on Wednesday. The two CBAs will go into effect June 1st and will last until the end of 2028. The U.S. National Soccer Team Players Association, which represented the men's side, had been operating without a CBA since the end of 2018. And the deal for the Women's National Team Players Association expired at the end of 2021, but was extended until another deal was reached. There was an announcement from the president of the U.S. Soccer Federation, Cindy Parlow-Cone. She vowed that the new CBAs would need to address the equal pay issue of World Cup bonuses. The CBAs also put into effect the much celebrated financial settlement between the women's national team and the Federation, which was announced February after months and months and months and months of jousting betwixt the two sides. The deals dramatically change the what's the word I'm looking for here? The competition that had been in place between the two sides. What competition do I mean? Well, the two sides, men's and women's side, had been in previous years dramatically competing for attention and resources from the USSF. Now the goal is ultimately, fingers crossed, that the USSF will have both players' associations working to better the entirety of the program without having to get into fistfights over attention and resources, which has been a big problem for me. Like, I do not think that we've needed to have both sides competing for attention and resources. I think it should have been something that we should have, if we were intelligent, been boosting both sides, right? The women has brought as much attention to the men to U.S. soccer, and the men have needed it, but it is what it is. It has been what it has been. Nashville, Tennessee is the home of Nashville SC. Defender Walker Zimmerman is a member of the USNSTPA's leadership team. He said, quote, "We have accomplished so much together with this revolutionary CBA, and certainly we're going to be cheering like crazy because that's exactly what the CBA is. It's equal. We will be their biggest fans. I'm sure they will be our biggest fans as well." Midge Purse is a member of the union's CBA committee on the women's side. She said, quote, "I think what the CBA does is it finally creates that one nation, one team ideology. And I think that it's really brought us together under that ideology that we've been chasing for a very long time. The respective unions will receive 90% of the FIFA bonuses paid at the end of 2022 and 23 World Cups, and 80% of the bonuses at the 26 and 27 editions. All of the funds paid out from those bonus pools will be split evenly amongst the two national teams. FIFA has announced the entire bonus pool for the World Cup in Qatar will be 400 mil, while the bonuses for the women's tournament in Australia will be 60 mil. In the previous World Cup cycle, the last place men's team won more prize money than the first place women's team. Zimmerman said those are tough conversations, but at the end of the day, it's the right thing to do. It's something that the U.S. women's team deserve. It's something that they have fought for so hard. To be honest, sometimes it does feel like we had just kind of come alongside them and been late. It's not easy to look back about this whole journey and where it started for them and how we entered, and that's why it's even more important for us to feel like we are getting involved. It's never too late to get involved. Look, I know that there has been a lot of pushback in the past. There's been a lot of pushback in the past regarding the fact that the women signed a collective bargaining agreement that had certain terms in it about, they were guaranteed to be paid whether they played or not. A lot of them did that for the premise of having maternity leave should they have a baby, et cetera, et cetera. And I think those were fair points. I've said on the show a number of times that some of my friends have been upset when I have brought that up. You guys have brought that up to me. I'll be real with you. Last year when this whole thing started, I was like, oh, damn, I did not know. And it's a fair point of the conversation. But that is not to say that the women have not produced. They have produced. They have produced better results. They have produced, as far as I can tell, more viewership overall than the men's team, and certainly have done more to put U.S. soccer on the map than the men's team. If the men's team and the women's team sat across the table from the USSF and said, let's do this together, let's do this thing, great, good. Why is that bad? Seems like a good thing to me. All right. Let's do this. I want to run to a break. I know it's a short segment, but that's because we went really long. Thanks again to 9 of the Rise Guys for joining us here on the show for a little Fight Club. When we come back, we have got the most recent development out of this Deion Sanders and Nick Saban story. And yes, I will address it when we come back here in just a minute from right now. My name is Rob Brown. Lonzo is not here. He is over doing his thing on the other station because he had to. He's doing yeoman's work. What's a yeoman? What is a yeoman? I've got research to do. What is a yeoman? Definition of yeoman. Yeoman is a man holding and cultivating a small landed estate, a freeholder, and historically a servant in a royal or noble household, ranking between a sergeant and a groom or a squire and a page. Cool. I'll tell him you said so, Urban Dictionary. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show. It's the Fan Upstate. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a little bit about the Upstate Golf Card. The 2022 version of the Upstate Golf Card is now out and available, my friends. Yes, indeed. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. Let's see what we got. Steven says, I have a major question for everyone. Do you guys use 2 spoons and knives for peanut butter and jelly sandwich? If not, what is the correct peanut butter order, or what is the correct order, peanut butter on utensil first or jelly? Steven, I will tell you that I do not use 2 different utensils. Now, when I've lived by myself, the correct order was jelly first on one piece of bread. Lick the knife. Yeah, I know. But again, when I live by myself, lick the knife and then peanut butter on the other side. Because to get the peanut butter off the knife before you stick it in the jelly is a lot of work, right? It's a lot of work. However, if you put the jelly on first, it's much easier to get the jelly off before it goes in the peanut butter, and then the knife goes into the end of the sink. Now that I live with somebody, the correct order is still jelly then peanut butter, but it's jelly and then rinse off the knife, unless you and your better half are like really comfortable with each other. But it's jelly first, then not lick off the knife, but like rinse the knife, dry the knife, and then go to the peanut butter. I don't see the need to dirty 2 when I can just like quick rinse 1 in the middle. That being said, if she's not home, it's jelly, peanut butter. It is what it is. It is what it is. Tayshawn says, hey, Rob, I produce music. Let me make you a beat for your show. Yeah, dude, fine, absolutely. Be happy to, as long as you give us the rights to use it, man. Heck yeah. Be happy to. Shoot me an email, rob.brown@thefanupstate.com, rob.brown@thefanupstate.com, and let's get something going. Yeah, it'd be great. 100%. One thing, and you can ask Keegan this if he's in here. I have said many times, this show belongs to all of us. Yeah, like this show belongs to everybody. I want you guys to feel like you have some ownership of the show as well, right? I mean, it is my show, but I want you guys to feel like you have ownership over it. Keegan came up here earlier this week, and we did a photo shoot that I'm going to be using to promote the stuff, promote the show itself, promote me, etc. Because I have an ego. What do you want? Tayshawn, if you want to throw a couple of songs in the rotation, and we'll get them played on the show, I'll be happy to use them. Absolutely happy to. Shoot me an email, rob.brown@thefanupstate.com. Luke says, can I get my mullet scored today? I heard you received late yesterday, but still curious. I did, Luke. I did. They have been sent to the judges for judging. I do not have the scores yet. Now, what I'm trying to decide, and I think I have a lean, what I'm trying to decide is, do I want to tell you guys the score as the show is going on, or do I want to keep the scores a secret so that you guys keep competing, right? Like, I don't want you guys to stop competing, right? I don't want you guys to stop competing. I want the mullets to keep coming in. So, I'll think about it, Luke. I haven't decided if I'm going to give. I may do like, you know what I think I might do? I thought about this. What I think I might do is I might do like a week before the end of the competition, which is really like next week, like middle or end of next week, with 3 or 4 days left to go in the show. I may give a score update so that you guys know, okay, I got like 2 days to go catch a couple more mullets to get in there. (844) fan phone 844-326-3663 to call in and get on the air with us. You can also, if you wish, text us on the Preferred Home Services text line 71307. I do have the text line pulled up. I'm on the other side of the other side of the glass here, but I did the extra work and I got the text line pulled up because I love you. You're welcome. 71307, start your text with fan. Texter says, Ric Flair is going to go out like Randy the Ram. Texter says, if I'm in a bar fight and Haku isn't available, I'd take Eddie Kingston to help me. Who would be the best professional wrestler to bring to a bar fight? That's a fair question. Kingston, I think, is up on the list because I think Kingston would be like a real life fighter, right? Wardlow, maybe. Texter said, Dion and Jimbo both have called a press conference today. Things are gonna be spicy. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And I'm very excited about it. I am excited about it because it's going to prove me correct, right? At the end of the day, and I said this back in the last hour, I actually did not plan on doing it again until the next hour. I was going to do some NBA here, but Nick and Jimbo have, Nick and Jimbo. Well, Jimbo probably will at some point. Nick and Dion have both called press conferences for later today. And I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. What's going to happen is Dion is going to go out because if there is one thing Neon Dion Primetime Sanders is really, 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 really good at, it is leveraging situations to get Jackson State University in the news. Dion, master at that. He was a master of that during his career. He was a master of that post-career. Now he's a master of that as coach. Deion Sanders is really good at taking advantage of situations that get his team in the news cycle. Nick Saban mentioning Deion was a gift-wrapped present to Deion Sanders. It was a way for Deion to, listen, here's what's going to happen. Deion's going to put out a video on Twitter. Deion's going to do a press conference. Deion's going to get Jackson State University mentioned on the 24-hour news cycle about 11 times today, right? That is more. Let me ask you a question. Before Deion Sanders was the head coach and before the NIL and transfer portal showed up, unless your team had scheduled them for a paycheck game, how many times had you heard of Jackson State University? How many times? Did you hear about them? You'd hear about them if they were coming up to Columbia or Clemson to get paid $1.25 million to take an ass whooping from the Tigers or the Gamecocks. But outside of that, have you ever heard press about Jackson State University before Deion? No. But Deion has done really well, right? Step one to getting better recruits and bettering your football program is to have people hear about it. is to have people know about it, is to have people get it, right? To understand what you're doing, to hear what you are doing. And by golly, Miss Molly, is there anybody doing that better right now than Deion at Jackson State? And Nick Saban just gift wrapped Deion Sanders free PR. Handed it to him, man. Handed it to him. Now, what I'll be interested to hear is what Nick Saban has to say. Is Nick Saban going to apologize to Deion Sanders? I doubt it. For the record, didn't say anything wrong. Deion can be mad about it, but Hunter Travis, the number one recruit in the country, does not go to Jackson State, HBCU or not, if that NIL money's not on the table, right? If that NIL money is not on the table, he's not going there. He's going to Florida State or Alabama or LSU or Georgia or wherever he's going to go, but he's not going to Jackson State. But I got to tell you right now, if you ask me to play 2 or 3 years at Jackson State or FSU as a high-level recruit, right, I'm obviously going to go to FSU or Georgia because they've got better resources. I'm going to be more comfortable. I'm going to be more taken care of. Unless you go Jackson State, which has less in the way of resources, less in the way of accommodations, less in the way of amenities, less in the way of resources, but you're going to get $1 million. I got to tell you, I can be real comfortable with $1 million. I'm going to do that one, right? I'm going to do that one. That's what happened. Now, Deion might go out there and debate it, right? He might hear, oh, no, he came here because we're family. That's what he said. We're family. We're one. And don't get me wrong. I'm sure that to some level, being an HBCU was a selling point for Hunter Travis. I'm sure that playing for a historically black college or university is a selling point for some black students. And I got all the respect in the world for that, right? Good for you. If that's the way you want to contribute to your community, your legacy, phenomenal. I support you 100%. Zero issue with Hunter Travis going to an HBCU. But the number one recruit in the country doesn't go there if there ain't $1 million paycheck on the line. I don't feel like it's controversial to say that. I feel like it's a statement of fact, right? I really do. So, with that being said, top to bottom, he went there because of NIL money. Nick Saban called it out. I have no problem with Hunter Travis going to Jackson State. I have no problem with Jackson State leveraging Barstool money to get Hunter Travis. I have no problem with Nick Saban calling it out. The reason this is a story to me is because there's a lot of people asking the question. Like I said earlier, I've heard Mark Ryan ask it. I've heard Nick Saban ask it. I've heard, I think Colin Cowherd ask it, right? I've heard a lot of people in my industry ask the question, is this what we want college football to be? What they are actually asking is, the status quo has changed. Are we good with it? And you'll notice the people who are unhappy with the status quo changing, who are they? The people who are upset with the status quo changing are the people who are making money off the old status quo. That's it. The people who are unhappy with the status quo changing are the people who are dominating the business under the old status quo. Nick Saban was dominating the business under the old status quo. A lot of college football broadcasters are very comfortable the way the system is. Why? Because they've been talking about the system the way the system has been for years. And now you have to add all new levels to the system, right? Now, people in my line of business, we don't just have to understand recruiting. We got to understand the legalities of NIL. We got to understand the transfer portal. We got to understand the rules and regulations of all of it. And we got to adapt to be able to talk and converse about that in a way that makes sense. It's a lot of work. I know it's a lot of work coming. I really do. The only people complaining about NIL are people who do not like that the status quo and their level of comfort with the status quo is changing. Now, as I said, Nick Saban's going to come out and kick your ass anyway, because every time he gets mad about the status quo changing, he just figures out how to win under the new status quo and he'll do it again. I'm not worried about Nick Saban. But Nick Saban is complaining because the status quo is changing, and he's got to put in a lot more work. He's willing to do it. He's done it before, but he's got to put in a lot more work to figure out how to win with the new status quo. That's why he complained. 1 hour left. We'll check in the NBA and NHL playoffs when we come back on the Rob Brown Show. This is the Fan Upstate, y'all. All right, excuse me, guys. I'm going to step out and grab a bit of water. I will be right back. Feel free to leave any conversation and question in the chat, and I'll get it when I return. When he did a little move to get to the free throw line, sorry about that on the stream. I had you muted. That's my bad. We're back. I knew that they were in trouble because Steph got hard fouled. And as he was falling away backwards, he just kind of like 90 degrees side of the basket, just kind of threw the ball up. I mean, nothing but strings on the way down. And that was the moment that I'm like, yo, Dallas is roasted. They got nothing. Certainly got nothing tonight. Probably not for the series. They got beat by 30. Because, of course, they did. I'm going to talk about that coming up next. And last night, the Carolina Hurricanes got a 3-2 overtime, 2-1 overtime win, pardon me. I'll get it right. Sorry, the numbers in the Calgary Edmonton game, where they get 13 goals in that game. I saw numbers in my head like a slot machine. Ting, 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 ting. Anyway, 1-0 Hurricanes win in OT to take a 1-0 series lead against the Rangers in a game that they had no business winning, but found a way to gut out a OT dub, which was impressive as hell, and I'm going to break that down. But college football has decided to be dramatic today, and I love it. Texter says, the SEC Media Days are going to be great this year. Yeah. I am like relatively sure that I'm going to be going to the boss after the show today to ask if I can be sent to cover that. Not because I particularly want to cover the SEC Media Days, but more because I want to be an MMA play-by-play guy. And when Jimbo and Nick Saban are in the room together, I might get the chance. Those two are not going to be golfing buddies at the SEC Media Days this year. They're just not. I'm excited about it. If it's in Birmingham, I'm not even kidding. If it's in Birmingham, I might go. If I need to pay my own way, I might go to watch the SEC Media Days just because that drama is going to be so good. It's going to be amazing to watch because Jimbo is going to be passive aggressive as hell. Nick Saban is going to be Nick Saban. It's going to be amazing. Now, I want to flash back about, 4 months, 3 months. I want to flash back because Texas A&M was already jumping to the top of the recruiting rankings. And Jimbo Fisher, the current head coach of the Texas A&M Aggies, you'll remember him. He won a national championship at Florida State back in 2013. He stepped to the microphone at a press conference. Now, at the time, there was a rumor going around that something was going down. As the Eagles said, the Jimbo and the Aggies were forking over a mucho dinero to get players to show up. And Jimbo decided that he had quite enough of that talk.
A lot of money is being spent, and just your thoughts.
Here's what I'm going to say, and this is point blank. Because here's my problem. There is no $30 million fund. There is no $5 million. There is no $10 million. This is garbage, okay? And it pisses me off that people, and here it comes from a site called Bro Bible by a guy named Sliced Bread. Then everybody runs with it. So it's written on the internet as gospel. How irresponsible is that? I'm going to tell you, there's some very reputable writers in college football and sports that wrote it and have said it and have done things. That's unbelievable to me. When I first heard it, I laughed. I said, oh, yeah, what a clown. I mean, I didn't even think anything of it because I don't have social media. And they kept building it, and lately I've heard more about it. To me, it's insulting to the players that we recruited that's why they would come here. You ever been to a game here? You ever come to school here and see the education? You ever talk about the 12th man, the Aggie Network when you're done? There ain't a better university in this country. And it's insulting to what you say. And we got writers who have said it and done it off Sliced Bread. A guy named Slice who made it up. Love to see who Sliced Bread is and put it out there with Sliced Bread. Let me find out where it comes from. And then to have coaches in our league and across this league to say it, clown acts. All right? Irresponsible as hell. Multiple coaches in our league. And the guy's griping about NIL, griping about transfer portal, using it the most and bragging about it the most. That's the ironic part. You want character? I'll take it with any of y'all. It's a joke. It does piss me off.
Love it. Jimbo got heated. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say I'm willing to bet the Texas A&M, a school that is known for how much its boosters put into the program. Yeah? When I was down in Florida, I covered the SEC real close, right? Real close. Now that I'm here in Greenville, I do the same thing. Texas A&M is known for two things. Number one, their fans are a cult, all right? A cult, not a cult. I'm not saying their fans are witches and wizards. I'm saying their fan is a cult. I've been around them. They're weird. No disrespect to any Aggie fans in the audience, but I have been to one of your yell practices. I have seen your yell leaders in person. Texas A&M is a cult. Woo. I said what I said. Second off, they are known for the fact that their boosters are very rich and their boosters put in a lot of money to the program. They just do. They just do. So, yes, Jimbo, we know there's a lot of money going from your boosters to your players. This is not a surprise to anyone, right? And it's certainly not something that you should be pretending as if it's not happening. Now, you can absolutely run with the rest of what you're saying, right? You can run with the argument about, have you been here for a game? Because Kyle Field is ridiculous as a venue. You can say, have you heard the 12th man? Have you seen the 12th man? Because, yes, it's a cult, but it's a cult that gets very, very loud for their sports teams. No doubt about it. You're going to play college football and you care about adulation and adoration? Texas A&M be great for you. You can talk about the education. I know plenty of A&M fans, and yes, I have told them to their face that I think their school's a cult. But I know plenty of A&M fans, and they are some of the most intelligent people I know, and they decided to go to the school. All right? I'm good with all of that. And Jimbo is fine to defend Texas A&M with those points. In fact, if there are points to defend A&M, that's them. Go with it. You know what Texas A&M, you know what Jimbo Fisher should have done? You know what the press conference I am tuning in for is? The press conference I am tuning in for is this. All right, well, thanks for coming out. I don't know why Jimbo Fisher is a knockoff George W. Bush, but bear with me. All right, well, appreciate you guys coming on out. Welcome to Kyle Field. Thanks for coming to cover Texas A&M football. I'm Jimbo Fisher, head coach of the Texas A&M Aggies. I am here today because I would like to respond to the comments of one Nick Saban, head coach at the University of Alabama. And here's a response I'd like to give to Nick Saban. Nick accused us of paying for every one of our players. Nick accused us of buying every one of our players. And I would just like to say, if I may, you're damn right, Nick. See, because here at Texas A&M, our fans, they care about this program. And our fans were willing to do whatever they needed to do to make sure them players felt like Texas A&M was where they needed to come, not just to win a championship, but to better their lives, both as students and as professionals. So you're damn right. We got a lot of money going to them players. You know why? Because that is what you can accomplish when you come to Texas A&M. Not only can you be part of the #1 recruiting class in the Southeastern Conference and in the whole damn nation, not only can you come play in front of the most rowdy and loyal and passionate fan base in the entire United States of America, not only can you come get a world-class education at Texas A&M, not only can you be an Aggie, but you can come, no matter what position you play, no matter where you are on the depth chart, you can come here Get all that, and you can make some damn money. All right? Why wouldn't you want to play for Texas A&M? Make it a recruiting pitch here, Jimbo, right? Make it a recruiting class. Make it a pitch. Make it a thing, man. I would, right? Lonzo and I have very frequently made jokes about trolling, right? About trolling Nick Saban, about trolling people in general. We very frequently made jokes about trolling people. I'm going to tell you right now, I'd be trolling the hell out of Nick Saban if I was Jimbo Fisher, right? I would genuinely make it a recruiting pitch. I really would. I really would. Let's see. Jake Crane is a reporter who is covering. Oh, Jimbo's live right now. All right. Jimbo Fisher is doing his press conference right now. And Jimbo Fisher has got some straight up lines for Nick Saban. Now, I'll tell you right now. All I want to do is get off of the radio and go listen to Jimbo Fisher's press conference because he is saying things like this, quote, "It's sad to see Saban go after 17-year-old kids just because he didn't get his way. Go ask anyone who has ever worked for him and how he got to be where he is," end quote. He also said, quote, "There is a reason I never went back to work for him," end quote. He also said, quote, "When you walk on water, I guess it doesn't matter. Wasn't he soliciting funds from the crowd before he said that?" End quote. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Rob Brown. I have for many years advocated against coach speak. I despise it when coaches utilize coach speak. I can't stand it. I think it does a disservice to the fans. It makes my job harder if I'm being selfish. But you don't want to tune in to hear coach when you find out your starting running back is down for the week, go, well, you know, we got a next man up mentality around here. We just got to find the next guy that's going to step up. Coach, he's a Pro Bowl running back. He's a first-team All-SEC running back. Those guys don't just show up. If you're a team that's got next man up is a next All-Pro or All-SEC running back, cool, good on you. You did a hell of a job. But that ain't how it works. So give me why. Give me why. Tell me why. Tell me why. I'm begging you. I'm begging you. Anyway, I've been anti-coach speak for as long as I can remember doing radio. Jimbo Fisher, from what I can tell, and he just finished his press conference, he was at the podium for, looks like about 19 minutes, based on the presented video from the Texas A&M Twitter account. Looks like he was at the podium for about 19 minutes, and I will see if I can get some of the audio. May have to wait for tomorrow. Jimbo Fisher said, bleep your coach speak. To hell with your coach speak. I got no need, use, desire for your coach speak. I am coming out gunning. And he did. And he did. As soon as this video from Texas A&M processes, I'll see if I can get some of the audio plugged up. It was not 19 minutes. Looks like he was at the podium for about 9 minutes. About the first 8 of it was them just waiting for Jimbo to show up. All right, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to run to a break. I'm going to go listen and check out this video from Jimbo's press conference. May have some sound for it when we come back. I really wanted to talk NBA here, America. I really did. I wanted to talk Luka. I wanted to talk Mavs. I wanted to talk Golden State. I wanted to talk all of it. But Jimbo and Nick Saban have decided to go hell in a cell on it. So I will tell you what they had to say in the press conference because this is incredible. You know, some days the show writes itself while you're doing it. Today's one of those days. We're back after this on the Rob Brown Show. It's the Fan Upstate. Let me tell you about my friends at Harley Davidson of Greenville, ladies and gentlemen. I've told you many, many times that one of the best decisions I made when I moved here to the upstate of South Carolina was that I brought my motorcycle with me. The only decision I wish I had made differently Guys, I just watched the first 2 minutes of this Jimbo Fisher press conference, and it's incredible. It is incredible. I'm about to play this for you. It's remarkable, man. Absolutely remarkable. Oh, this is going to be incredible.
Start it together at Lowe's. Shop on Memorial Day savings where you'll find everything you need under the sun. Protect your soil with a bag of our premium color mulch at a new low price of $2.98. Keep your yard in summer shape and save $20 with your choice of Craftsman blower or trimmer. Was $119, now just $99. The savings are heating up this Memorial Day at Lowe's. Home to any budget, home to any possibility. Valid 5/19 to 5/25. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language, like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the pronunciation just right.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Go to babbel.com to try for free. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
I'm Mark Ryan. If you're like me, you're no interior decorator and you need a bit of help putting together an outfit that pops. I'm beyond grateful I met my friends at Smith & James Fine Men's Clothing because they make me look like I know what I'm doing. They'll help you find the best color combinations with slacks, shirts, polo suits, and so much more. There's nothing quite like surprising your sweetheart with a new getup that has you looking your best. Check out their collection today at smithandjames.com and stop by their stores at 222 Trade Street in Greer or at their new location on Verde Boulevard in Greenville. This feature is sponsored by BioNTech and Pfizer.
You've heard the latest news, traffic, and weather, but there's something else you should hear. Consider getting a COVID-19 booster as recommended by the CDC. Brought to you by BioNTech and Pfizer.
Always streaming wherever you are on the Odyssey app. Make the Fan Upstate a favorite.
Okay. All right. Listen, guys. We were talking a few minutes ago about Jimbo Fisher's press conference. Cut the music. I'm going to it. All right. I listened to the first handful of minutes of it. I'm going to play it for you. Now, in radio, it's bad to play more than, a minute and a half tops, preferably like a minute under worth of sound bites. Y'all, Jimbo Fisher just did about 9 minutes of some of the greatest college football sound I've ever heard. So we are going to play my favorite game on the radio. That's not Faces or Heels or Twitter Trending Topics or any other game that we play. We're going to play a little game called Okay Stop. No, what did I call it? Hold Up. That's it. Okay, Hold Up. We're going to play Hold Up. Here's how it works. I've got the audio from Jimbo's presser today, courtesy of @AggieFootball on Twitter. And I am going to play it for you. And we're going to play Hold Up. And the reason why is because I can't only pick a minute out of this. The first 5 minutes of this are Jimbo wrecking Nick Saban. Let's get into it. Shall we? Yes, we shall.
Coach, I'd like to respond to some comments made last night in Alabama.
Yes, I would. First of all, I'll say it's a shame that we have to do this. It's really despicable. It's despicable that somebody can say things about somebody and an organization. More importantly, 17-year-old kids. You're taking shots at 17-year-old kids and their families. That they broke state laws. They're all money. We bought every player on this group. We never bought anybody. No rules were broken. Nothing was done wrong. It was all in the way we do things, the ethics in which we do things. And these families, it's despicable that a reputable head coach could come out and say this.
All right, hold up. A couple things out of the very opening phrase here. Number one, I actually genuinely believe that no rules were broken, right? This was the thing I got into it with Lonzo earlier. Lonzo said, how could you say the school isn't involved? And the answer is, school doesn't have to be involved, right? All the money's going to come from boosters. All the money is going to come from the people who put money into the programs. School didn't have to do a damn thing other than what it's always done, which is to say, these are the kids we're recruiting. These are the kids we're interested in recruiting. And if we wanted kids to show up, these would be the ones, right? So I'll say Jimbo got a point. if Nick Saban said, now, again, I only heard the short form comments of Nick Saban. I don't know that Nick Saban accused anybody of breaking rules, right? He said, oh, they bought their entire recruiting class. Okay. I mean, did they break a rule? If not, what's the problem?
When he doesn't get his way or things don't go his way, the narcissist in him doesn't allow those things to happen, and it's ridiculous. But when he's not on top, and the parity in college football he's been talking about, go talk to coaches who coach for him. You'll find out all the parity. Go dig into wherever he's been. You can find out anything. And it's a shame that you got to sit here and defend 17-year-old kids and families and Texas A&M because we do things right. We're always going to do things right.
All right, hold up. Let's go with what he started there. He started with, you want to find out about the narcissist. I mean, he just called him the narcissist. Said Nick Saban freaks out when things don't go his way. He's a narcissist. Go dig into the past of the narcissist. Ask guys who have coached for him before, and you'll find out exactly what he's been doing. Dude, this is a WWE style promo that Jimbo is cutting here, no? I mean, this is an unbelievable promo. Keep going, Jimbo. Give me more.
But we're always going to be here. We're doing a heck of a job. These coaches have done a great job. Our players have done a great job. The whole organization of recruiting people. It's despicable that we got to sit there at this level of ball and say these things to defend the people of this organization, the kids, 17-year-old kids, and their families. It's amazing. Some people think they're God.
Okay, hold up. Now, I need you to strap in, America, because Jimbo, you thought that Jimbo had been no holds barred so far in this presser. Jimbo Fisher is about to say something here in this next bite that I knew something went bananas, because while I was on the air in the last segment, got about 7 different texts from people all in the market of OMG WT blank, right? Jimbo said, some people think they are God.
Go dig into how God did his deal. You may find out about a guy that a lot of things you don't want to know. We built him up to be the czar of football. Go dig into his past.
Hold up. Hold the blank up. Jimbo said, go dig into how God did it. Go dig into how God did it. And you might find some stuff you don't like, some stuff you don't want to find. My man just all but straight up accused Nick Saban's entire career of being a fraudulent, of being a fraud. Just accused Nick of being a fraud and accused his entire career of being fraudulent, breaking rules. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Anybody that's ever coached with him, you can find out anything you want to find out, what he does and how he does it, and it's despicable.
Hold up. You can find out anything you want to find out about him, and it's despicable. What, his whole career, Joe? His whole career is despicable. Like, at this point, here's the only criticism that I have about this press conference. There is one. The only criticism I have about this press conference is, if you're going to go this far, Jimbo, you have got him on the mat. Finish the fight, man. Finish the fight. You have got Nick Saban on the ropes. Finish the fight. Because it certainly sounds to me like these aren't just general accusations. Sounds to me like you got some dirt, Jimbo Fisher. And if you got some dirt, throw it down. Let's go, young man.
It really is. And it's a shame we have to sit up here and have this conversation about things we do. And it's personal to us? Yes, it is. It's personal to A&M. It's personal to our players. It's personal to our coaches and everybody involved. And I know the guy. Know him really well.
All right. Hold up. This is even better, right? Like, it started with Nick Saban's a narcissist. And that's a great start. And then it turned into Nick Saban is a guy who fancies himself God. Well, go dig into how God built his goddom. You might find some stuff you don't like. Then he said, we appointed this guy the czar of college football. And in fairness, we kind of have, yeah? We kind of have over the years made Nick Saban kind of the voice, the face. Jimbo's going, hold on, wait a minute. That don't mean he's right. That don't mean he's done it the right way. But now Jimbo Fisher has decided to drop the I know Nick Saban personally.
It's amazing that we're allowed to do those things. It's really despicable. And I hate it for our players who are coming here, who did things the right way, have done things the right way, and will continue to do things the right way. I apologize to you that people insult you publicly the way they're doing it. And our fans, I apologize to you guys for people saying those things about Texas A&M. But promise you this, there are no violations. There are nothing wrong. It's the second time we've had to do this with grown men who don't get their way and want to pout, throw a fit, and act up. Just go ask all the people who work for him. You'll know exactly what he's about. I always said this. My dad always told me this. When people show you who they are, believe them. He's showing you who he is.
My goodness. Trey in the stream just said, did Jimbo Fisher just become my new favorite coach? Jimbo has subscribed to the burn it down mentality, right? Because here's the thing. You come after Nick. What's the old expression? You come for the king, you best not miss. Jimbo saying, YC's the king, man. YC's the king. We're here to beat the king. You best not miss.
Questions? To the left.
Oh, he's not done, by the way. There's more coming.
A couple of things, Jimbo. First of all, have you had any contact with Nick since?
No. Oh, he's called.
You just didn't take the call?
Not going to. We're done.
Oh, my God. Wow. Jimbo, have you had any contact with Nick Saban? Oh, he's called. You didn't take the call? No, we're done. My God. Is this like at some point, I expect the media to just start chanting, Jerry, Jerry, Jerry. This is unreal. He said, Nick Saban has repeatedly tried to call me. So you're not taking his calls? Oh, no. We're done.
And
he shows you who he is.
And then I just wanted to.
He's the greatest ever, huh?
Okay. Listen, I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a body language expert. I did not stay in a Holiday Inn Express last night. But when the guy was clearly ready to ask the next question, and Jimbo's like, he showed you who he was. And then the guy tries again to ask the next question, and Jimbo interrupts him again. Dude, this is not, I thought to myself when I started this, I thought, okay, is there going to be a point during this press conference that I, being the cynical man that I am going to go, it's a work, all right? It's a work. This is a work. Jimbo called a presser to get himself on TV a little bit because he had the opportunity like Dion. Is this a work? Y'all, this is not a work. This is not a work from Jimbo. Jimbo is genuinely heated.
And then I just wanted
when you got all the advantages.
He's still interrupting. Still.
Just put it point blank. So no players in you're saying that no players in
there's
this
no
22
bylaws of
received
anything we
money
ever promised, done anything that goes against the laws of the state of Texas, and it's insulting to say a 17-year-old and his family broke laws. No.
Keep in mind, hold up, forgot to say the catchphrase. Keep in mind that the regulations of NIL currently are set by the states, not the NCAA, right? They're set by the states. And again, if Nick's got a problem, I would advise he point his cannons towards the NCAA. Because as I've told you guys multiple times, the NCAA had years of knowing this was coming down the pipe. And the NCAA had years to prepare themselves to get guidelines and protocols ready to lay down the law and go, here's the NIL protocols. Let's put them in place, and then let's vote on it. Let's figure it out, right? Years to do that. They decided not to. Instead, they said, we're going to leave it up to the states, which is a terrible decision. Not to say in like general life and well-being. There's arguments for and against it, sure. But in this case, it's a bad idea because some states are going to go, do whatever you want. And other states are going to go, no, we don't like that. Don't do it at all. And you're going to kill competitiveness. That, you want the biggest problem with NIL? It's not NIL. It's not players making money. It's not even this. Jimbo and Nick Saban have just made A&M v. Alabama the single most must-watch football game of the fall. What's killing college football is not NIL. It's the fact that the NCAA let the states decide state by state what those rules should be and kill competitiveness. So Jimbo's going, yo, Texas has got NIL laws in place that the NCAA mandates we follow. We have not broken any of them, yet Nick Saban is accusing us of doing stuff.
Down front, Brent.
You know, y'all have both spoken so highly of each other in the past in terms of what y'all have done in your previous relationship. So how disappointing was it to hear that from him, you know, in terms of, you know, a mentor type to you?
It's disappointing. No, it wasn't. No, listen, you coach with people like Bobby Bowden and learn how to do things. You coach with other people and learn how not to do things.
That's my favorite line so far. That is the best line so far. You coach with guys like Bobby Bowden, you learn how to do things. You coach with other guys, you learn how to not do things. He said Nick Saban was like a mentor, and Jimbo was like, nope, whoop, hold up, wait a minute. Hold up, nope. Pump the brakes. Big chill. What a line, dude. Like, I fully expect this promo to lead to Saban v. Fisher Hell in a Cell live on pay-per-view.
There's a reason people don't go, I ain't went back and worked for him.
How? My God, Jimbo! Jimbo came for blood. For blood. Let me play that part back.
And learn how to do things. You coach with other people and learn how not to do things. There's a reason people don't go, I ain't went back and worked for him.
Now, in fairness, Jimbo, the reason you ain't went back and worked with him is because you were in Tallahassee where you were winning national championships. And when you left Tallahassee, by the way, in flames and smoldering, a dumpster fire in Tallahassee the way you left it not to go to work for Nick Saban because Texas A&M didn't pay you a bank. They gave you a bank, right? Let's not pretend you haven't gone back to Nick Saban because it's anything other than A&M gave you lots of money to come coach there after Tallahassee. However, I'd go ahead and say post this press conference, we don't have to worry about that happening again.
With opportunities.
Coach back behind the
Don't be
lights.
associated with it.
Coach, is this an area where you would want to see the league office and the SEC, the commissioner's office get involved if coaches are putting out specific accusations of
That's
violation?
their job. That's fine. I'm sure they will. They'll reprimand or say something, and we'll move on, I guess. But this is about our players and Texas A&M and the people who work for and the coaches here. That's what this is about. Make a mistake. We're not going anywhere. We have still a lot of work to do. We're not where we want to be. This is going to be a great program, and we're building it into a great program.
Any other questions down front?
All right, so we'll call it there because I'm out of time. But, yeah, I fully suspect that at some point, Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher are going to end up in a steel cage match together. That was insane, my dudes. Like, wow. Jimbo, no holds barred. None. Went after my guy Like what? Question's going to be, is Nick Saban going to respond later? Is Nick Saban going to respond later? I can tell you this. Number one, if we do this a couple of times between now and this football season, this is going to be the greatest college football season of all time. Hands down. Number two, if there were two coaches I expect this out of, it's these two. Right? It's Nick and Jimbo. No doubt about it. And for the record, I am not a Jimbo Fisher fan. Very quickly, he left Tallahassee when I was broadcasting down in Destin, Florida. Tallahassee was to Clemson in the beginning of my professional broadcasting career. That is to say, towards the top consistently, even though they only got one title in 2013. And Florida, down the road a little further, was more the South Carolina of the time. Jimbo left Tallahassee when I was still broadcasting in Florida, and it cost me a lot of money because, as I've told you guys, it's not a new thing when I say I want your teams to be good, not because I'm a Clemson fan or a South Carolina fan, but because I'm a money fan and I get more of it when they're good. He left Tallahassee as a smoldering dumpster fire. And when Florida State got bad, a lot of my remotes dried up, a lot of my events dried up, and a lot of my paycheck dried up. I was not a fan of that. Shocking, I know. Because I think he did it wrong. That being said, this is as solid of a diss track as any that Eminem has put out in the last 10 years. Unbelievable, guy. Unbelievable, Jimbo. Give me more of it. Texas A&M v. Alabama is the must-see television event of the century. Take a break and end the show, I guess. Guess we'll just talk NHL and NBA tomorrow because Jimbo Fisher decided he needed to verbally assault and batter Nick Saban today. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show. It's the Fan Upstate. That was amazing, you guys. That was amazing. Jimbo Fisher was, I got nothing. I got nothing. I got no words. Give me more Jimbo Fisher, please, and thank you. Begging you. That was like I've never heard a coach press conference like that before. Never heard a coach press conference. Trying to figure out where to put this mic where I can see you guys, but also you can still hear me. Thank you, Ben. That's very kind of you, man. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Honestly, like, I didn't really have to work for that. That was just, I just got to be a college football fan right there. That's all that was. I just got to be a college football fan, and I loved it.
smart term loans, cash out, and over 300 loan options to find just the right mortgage loan for you. Call now, 866-888-LOAN, or go to loandepot.com. Loan Depot, where home means everything. Rates are subject to change. Equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 174457. Licensed in all 50 states.
Dell Technologies wants to celebrate all your hard work with these Small Business Month specials. Get great value offers on powerful laptops, desktops, and servers with Windows 11 Pro starting at $499, plus top monitors and docks, all with easy financing options through Dell Financial Services. It's the perfect time to upgrade so you and your team can stay secure from anywhere. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL to refresh your business tech with these Small Business Month specials. Dell recommends Windows 11 Pro for business.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/.
Oh, dude, Tayshaun, I didn't know you had I didn't have a stream, man. I got on last night. It was late, but I jumped on about 11. I threw the basketball and the hockey games up on the laptops, and I jumped on about 11 because I was going to see it, and there was nobody on, so I must have missed you. But no, man, send me your stream. I'll check it out. I'll come on and play with you one day. I suck, but I'm funny. Yeah, and I'll take any loadout advice you have. I have built 100 loadouts, and this. I've done the experiments, Tayshaun, and the conclusion of my experiments is that you could give me the best loadout in the game. I'm just really bad at it. That's it. Like, I'm a 2-kill a Warzone guy. If I get 2 kills, I had a great game. If we play, you will carry me. I'm just about, but I will make you laugh. I'll make you laugh.
Don't wait. Put the hardest working month of the year to work for you and save big on Maytag appliances now through June 1st. Because May is Maytag month.
COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too. If you feel symptoms, even if they're mild, you should test fast. Test positive and at high risk for severe COVID-19, then act fast. With authorized oral treatments that can be taken at home and must be taken within 5 days from when symptoms begin. COVID-19 moves fast, and now you can too by asking your healthcare provider if an oral treatment is right for you. Learn about a treatment option at treatcv19.com. This message is sponsored by Pfizer. Welcome to Allstate, where you can really control your savings. Because when you drive less, you save more with pay per mile. So you're really in control of your savings. Only paying for the miles you drive. Yeah, life is good when you're in the driver's seat. Allstate. Here, better protection costs a whole lot less. You're in good hands with Allstate. Click, call, or visit allstate.com to save today. Not available in every state. Savings vary subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company, Northbrook, Illinois.
It's time to say goodnight to that check engine light with the free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It'll help troubleshoot the likely cause of your light for free, so you can drive with peace of mind. Restrictions apply.
Ben on the live stream said, you covered that really well, Rob. Great job. It just shows why you're the best. I said, I don't feel like I really did anything special there. I didn't really have to do anything there. And Ben said, you got to be the game manager type quarterback in that moment. Jimbo did the work. Spot on. And as Keegan said, I would like to send a very, very special thank you to Jimbo Fisher for dropping that press conference before noon. Thank you. Thank you, Jimbo. Thank you for dropping that presser while I was on the air and while I had time to go grab it. Love it. Absolutely love it. Thank you very much. All right, Twitter trending topics on the way out the door. I got time for a couple of them as I get out today because I forgot to do my math to find out what time I need to be out by. 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half. Cool, got it. All right. A couple of things that are trending on Twitter right now. Obviously, both Saban and Jimbo Fisher are trending because of Well, this show, everybody's listening to the show. They heard me talking about it, and you know, there you go. They got it. Adam Schefter even reported, even wrote up an article about Saban's claims. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. It's unbelievable. Listen, I've told you guys, I am an NFL fan. Okay? I'm an NFL fan first. I watch the NFL before college football. I always have. I probably always will. It's not to say I don't like college football. I love college football. But I'm just an NFL guy. If stuff like this happened more often in college football, and it happens a lot, let's be abundantly clear. It does happen a lot. But if stuff like this happened more often in college football would rapidly rise above the National Football League in the order of things that I watch. It's just fantastic. You know, I told you. I planned on talking NBA this hour. I planned on talking NHL this hour. I planned on talking PGA Championship this hour. PGA Championship right now, the leaderboard is really interesting. In fact, back during the last hour of the show, at one point, John bleeping Daly was leading. Right now, John blanking Daly is third on the PGA Championship. Rory McIlroy is 4 under through 9. Davis Riley 3 under through 7, 2 under through 13. John Daly, who's he beating? No big. He's beating Will Zalatoris, Abraham Answer, Justin Rose, Tony Finau, Xander Schauffele, Max Homa, Stuart Sink, Francesco Molinari, Matt Kuchar, Victor Hovland, Tiger Woods, who, by the way, is even through 9, Bubba Watson, Kevin Na. All of these guys, by the way, have played 8 or more holes so far. JD, John Daly, has played 13, and he's got a 2-stroke lead on Tiger Woods. I came ready to talk about golf and basketball and hockey and everything else. And then Jimbo Fisher and Nick Saban decided to go bananas, B-A-N-A-N-A-S. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all for me. Thank you very much for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow, and you better believe we're going to have even more fun with that diss track of Oppressor. For Lonzo, I'm Rob. Back here tomorrow on the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. Later, brother. All right, dudes on the stream, appreciate you guys. Tayshawn, I will hit you up. Appreciate everything, my guy. Ben, thank you very much for being so kind. Keegan, as always, thank you for everything, buddy. And I will see the rest of y'all tomorrow. Hasta luego.